Welcome to the Land Your Bets Sports Betting Live show. Appreciate y'all sticking with me. Like to see a lot of y'all in here already. Got a lot to look at, but I don't have that much for today yet. We're going to find some stuff here, so I might be doing this a little bit longer than normal. Hopefully you guys like that. We had a wonderful day yesterday. Hopefully you guys got in on a couple of the parlays that hit. We had Cade Cunningham, same game parlay. We had him for 10 and 6. He got exactly 10 assists, 6 boards. We had the nice parlay with the 2 threes for Franz and for Fred VanVleet. So feel good about that too. That hit for plus money. So a couple plus monies in there. Hit Zubac later in the day with the VIP Discord. I'm going to have stuff rolling on the bottom line here so you guys can get the info that you need, including the leans that I'm going to have here in a minute. And all the reminders, jump in the comments. We got the links to what you need if you want the VIP Discord. Like I said, nice little 4-1 yesterday. Feeling really good about where we're at. Up now 12 units on the season, 11.97. So we're rolling along, man. I'm feeling pretty good about it. And I'm not in a hurry to just give it back because I feel like I have to bet on stuff tonight. That's not what everybody wants to hear. Everybody wants to know what the leg is for the parlay. Everybody wants to know what magic we have, but it's not magic. It's a lot of math and watching the games. So I'm going to get into one of the looks that I have. I'm definitely going to prioritize some of the looks that I have with you guys today so that we can make sure I get to what I want to look at so that you know what I'm looking at and not just take all the looks that you guys bring, but I'll try to get to as many of y'all as I can. But what's good, everybody? I'm glad to have y'all in here. Got David Cruz in here, wants an SGP for the Celtics. Got Mitchell at 25, Tatum 20, Evan Mobley points and assists, Jaylen Brown 20 points. Just be careful. I mean, that game should have a good amount of points. It's going to be pretty dependent on threes, but we'll take a look at some stuff there. SGA on the points. Yeah, we got the NBA Cup games too, as a reminder. So people are going to teams are probably going to be looking to stay in it and score a lot of points. I usually don't like to go too many unders in these games if I can avoid it. But I'm going to start writing stuff down for myself, and then I'll put it in the up next stuff. Jamal, I think, I was looking at Jamal Murray earlier. I think we can also, since when do we start calling? I know who you mean, but when do we start calling him Jamal? It's crazy. I agree. But when you say Jamal, I know who you're talking about. But I didn't know Jamal Murray demanded that level of respect. Phil Phillips, I was looking at Miles Bridges as well. I've got him up on my list, so we'll bring him up. AD smash spot, maybe. AD points all day. We'll take so all day points all day. We'll take a look at him. Stan, what's good, bro? You like AD as well. Let's see. You got a lot of looks where you put him up here. All right, yeah. Let's I missed a couple of things. What's up, Nate? Good to have you, bro. Marcus Price is asking about Josh Green, Scottie Pippen Jr., both for 2 threes. We can take a look. Let me at least put some stuff down that you mentioned here. And we'll get back to some things. All right. Chris Paul, 6 assists coming in from Matthew Johnson. What's up, Matthew? CP with the 6 assists. Evan Mobley, 15 points. AD, 10 plus boards, I'm assuming, as well. Let's see. I mean, I'll put Chris Paul in here for now. How about that? Let me start there. Chris Paul, because I am interested in what he's going to be doing. Interesting game, that one, obviously. So we'll have to take a look at it. You got Evan Mobley in there. I think I have AD already. I'll put Mobley on here. I don't know if I'm going to have much for him in this matchup against the Celtics. I don't like his matchup with Jaylen Brown. I kind of like it more for Jaylen Brown, if we're being honest. Is this right? Yeah. So just something to keep in mind there. Let me see. We got Champagny TR. What's up, Thomas? We got Champagny on the PA. I'll put Champagny in here. I mean, we got to look at that Spurs game and see what we like, but I don't know who I want to bank on in that game just yet. Stan's looking at Zach Collins. He's looking at Jaylen Brown assists. Let me put Jaylen Brown in here. JB assist. Zach Collins threes. Yeah, man, I hate Zach Collins. I mean, like, I don't have a reason other than his punchable face, but I just don't fucking like him. Evan Mobley, Brandon Clark. Yeah, I think Brandon Clark's a look. I was a little bit worried about Brandon Clark in terms of if he's guarding Dario Saric, does he get pulled from the basket? I don't actually know that that'll be his matchup, though. So I was looking at him for sure. I think Clark on the boards is a potential play. Really like Brandon Clark, and Zach Edey's out as well. Let's see. I'm going to try to see if I get a few more. Spider 27.5. I mean, that's simple. I know it's a blank screen. I'm gonna start sharing my stuff in a minute, Larry. No worries. I'm just getting my leans down from what everybody's putting in. Let people jump into the stream. Jaylen Brown. We got to look from top MF in here. Eugene Johnson says points for Castle and Champagny as well. So yeah, we'll take a look at those games and just bring them up. We don't have too many games, so we can at least go through this. I've got your looks right here. I'll at least put them up in the upcoming stuff. But I like I said, I have mine too, so I want to put those in there and go at what I was looking at because I don't have very many plays in right now. One thing I will show you guys as I bring up my screen. Let me start sharing this. The play that I do like that I did give out in the VIP already that I'll drop here because I'm in such a loving mood right now, is about Brandon Ingram. So to show you what I was looking at with Brandon Ingram, this is a super helpful tool. Shout out my guy Prop Bomb because I was struggling in some ways to find some of this stuff recently. So what is really interesting here, if we're on the NBA Advanced Stats page, this is the opening to that page, right? So what I want to do is I want to go to opponent shooting, and I want to see between pull-ups and catch and shoot how much a team is forcing players to catch and shoot versus the pull-up, right? And I think that's something we haven't looked at enough on this show. So I'm going to go to opponent shooting, and then I'm going to go to general, which seems ass backwards, but this is how we're doing it. Opponent shooting, general. And this is a look for Brandon Ingram, and I'll show you what the look is exactly. Oopsie. All right. Once I get this light to stand up. So what I'm looking at here is instead of overall, I want to know, you can see catch and shoot, pull up stuff. This is all how defenses play against these plays, which is pretty important because this is the two options you have for shooting. Either you're going to catch it and shoot it, or you're going to pull up or obviously drive to the basket. But if you look at the frequency with which, I'm going to look at pull-ups for a sec. If you look at the frequency with which the Dallas Mavericks are allowing the pull-up shot, it's pretty high, right? Dallas, where did they go? Opponent frequency. This was way better earlier. Field goals made. Yeah. So they're in the top 10 in terms of giving field goals off of the pull-up, right? So that's what I was mostly looking at is how often are they giving up that shot and how often is it getting made against them? And it's getting made a good amount. They're in the bottom like 6, 7 here in terms of limiting pull-ups, but they do a good job against the catch and shoot. So sometimes, honestly, it's just about being a dork and looking at this shit and when you can. But this is where they force the ball a lot more. 32.5% of the shots against them are coming off the catch the catch and shoot. Right. So my thought process here for Brandon Ingram was BI is going to be not allowed to shoot quite or his pass quite as much, but he's going to be allowed to shoot a good amount. So I like BI to go under his assists and go over on his points because I think he'll be given the opportunity to shoot more than he will to be able to make those passes to some open players. So something to consider there for BI. If you parlay his under assists with his over on points, now you're looking at some really good negative correlation. The books don't think it's as likely that if he has the ball in his hands, he's going to assist and make buckets, right? But if you negatively correlate those bets, you get a nice bunch of juice off of that. So I took 20 plus points for BI, under 7.5 assists. I'm going to put that up in the leans right now. So I'm putting Ingram, SGP, 20 plus points / under 7.5 assists. That was plus 133 on FanDuel. So I'm handing that one out right nice and early. So just giving that one to you guys if you want it. That's all going to be on the bottom line. Also going to put the YouTube video up at the end here and pin a comment that's going to have the final plays and the leans that we looked at in the show as well. So keep that in mind. Another lean I had was Darius Garland under, to be honest. I'm really leaning into that strongly. I still haven't played it. But let me put what we're going to be having coming up next so that we can get that going. You can see the looks that we still have to get to. All right, we got a bunch in here. Let's see how this looks when I bring it up. Can you see everything? All right, yeah, some of those are all caps. Let's start with, I like the idea of starting with Miles Bridges and see if there's anything I can get for Miles here in this game. I think there's some value in this game right here, the Hornets and the Nets. So what's interesting is if we start with Miles, I mean, he's been doing pretty well lately. What's interesting too, what I was going to say is Brandon Miller, it's tough between he and Miles, who might be getting more of the touches here. But Brandon Miller, since Miles Bridges came back, right, has taken he took 20 shots here. He was 6 for 20, 5 for 17, 3 for 18. So he's shooting like crap, but his usage is super high. For Miles Bridges, he's taking a few fewer shots, about 15 a game in the last 3, but he's way more efficient. So I'm tempted to take Miles, but I think the good shooting numbers for him and the bad shooting numbers for Brandon Miller might kind of even out. And what I wanted to know is Trey Mann officially out yet? If anybody knows if Trey Mann is playing, he was questionable. That's going to be huge too. Coming off the bench, it's one more score to take the ball out of those guys' hands. So that's something to consider. There's not going to be much of a difference between Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges, enough for me to be like, oh, this is what this dude does. This is what that dude does. And they do the same stuff. It's just about who's making shots that day. For Brandon Miller, it's coming off a screen, which this Nets defense is really good defending. For Miles Bridges, it's a lot more spot up, which this team is less good at defending. Less good, I'll say. I believe against shooting guards. Let me just pull up Fantasy Pros for a minute. Just look at that site. This is obviously just team defense versus position. Not the best of all time, but I would say Brandon Miller's more the shooting guard and Miles is the small forward, but there's not going to be much of a difference there. If we look at points for this Nets defense versus these two, so they're giving up the fewest to the shooting guard, and to the small forward, they are giving up the most. God damn, that's a pretty big disparity right there from where these two positions. It's not, I can't bang on that entirely, but if we look at, I mean, I guess, yeah, Brandon Miller is more the shooting guard. Miles Bridges is the small forward. I mean, they're so interchangeable. It's tough, but I would say like Miles Bridges is the play is what we're saying over Brandon Miller. I believe the ETR guys came out with a number. I'm going to look at the projections from Establish the Run. If you're not familiar with them yet, I've been pulling them up a lot lately. They have really good projections for each day at 5 p.m. that come out for the NBA. Always want to keep an eye on that because at 5 p.m. Eastern each day, you're going to see those lines move based on the projections that these guys put out. So I'm looking at Charlotte, like legit, like Sharps and the books are like, what did they say over at ETR? All right, well, let's adjust accordingly. They like Brandon Miller a lot more than they like Miles Bridges in this game. They got him at 19.4, so still over the 18, and they don't have Miles getting 17 points in this game. I'm not going to bank everything on that. And they do have Trey Mann in here getting about 10.5 points. So maybe he was going to eat into Miles Bridges' minutes, but I don't buy that. I'm in disagreement with these guys on the Miles Bridges stuff, to be honest with you. I mean, we'll stay away from it from right now. I do believe in these enough, but let me put on the bottom. No, I just fucking deleted the fucking bottom line like an asshole. Are you kidding me? All right, hold up. Let me get the leans back in here. Or the leans for right now. We've got I'm gonna put Miles Bridges over Brandon Miller. There we go. B Miller. If you're going to take those points, I'm also going to put my Ingram SGP. I took him 20 plus points, and I went under 7.5 assists for Ingram at the same time. So that's all at the top here. On the bottom line that I had to make all over again, but that's scrolling again for y'all when you want to look at it. But Miles Bridges, I prefer him over over Brandon Miller in this game, and maybe it's just shooting and the volume is still going to be there for B Miller, and that's what everyone's looking at. Fine. Damn, this is the next one I really wanted to look at was Ziaire Williams. I believe I have him on here on my list. Yes, since we're in this game, this is going to be your starting center essentially. For I guess Ben Simmons will technically be the center, but if we look at the starting lineup, we got Cam, Dennis, I believe Ziaire and DFS, or I guess Ben Simmons is going to be starting. Let me pull up RotoWire real quick for the what they have the starting lineup as right now. RotoWire, really good. Once again, all the links to everything in here in the description of the video. So all the tools that we're using here, whatever you want, go ahead and jump in there, including if you want to get into the VIP Discord, up 12 units on the season after 3 weeks. I will take 4 units per week all season to get us to about 80 if we hit that. So I'm very happy with where we're at right now. Not trying to give it all back either. That's why I'm being reasonable with these bets and not just trying to hit too much. So, all right, going to hit the fantasy basketball stuff. All right, so I'm going to the lineups today on RotoWire and looking at who they have in the starting lineup. Yeah, so they don't have Ziaire Williams starting. I know ETR likes him a lot, and I do see him coming in and getting minutes off the bench. Yeah, they have him as the top bench player. I guess Noah Clowney would come take some center minutes, but yeah, Ziaire Williams should be getting a bit more time tonight, I believe, still with Claxton out. Pretty good matchup without anybody to really guard him on the other team. And I want to see what they had his Let me go to Brooklyn. What did they have his rebounds at for Ziaire? So they have him at 24.5 minutes, but they have him at 11 points. And that's almost definitely why this went from 9.5 to 10.5 for the points. So let me see. Yeah, that sucks because 9.5 is still it's still beatable and still available on some other spots. So I think that's still the play. If you like, I think he's going to get a few more shots. I think he is good for the amount of points that they like him for as well. So that's going to be a lean for me right now is Ziaire Williams. I'm going to put him on the bottom line alongside everything and try not to delete it like a fat-fingered idiot. All right, Ziaire Williams over 9.5. I don't know if how long that's going to be available with that projection from the ETR guys, but I do like Ziaire to get minutes and points in this game. Okay, yep, I got you, Stan. You want to look at LeBron on the TD? What's that number at right now? Because if we're getting like plus 300 for him to get a triple double, that would be annoying. I don't know if we could take that. LeBron TD, which means we'll just be looking at everything LeBron. Let me get rid of some of the ones I looked at already. Ziaire Williams I got in here, and Miles Bridges. I'm close to hitting that. What time is that? That's one of the first games, right? So that's got to be 4:30 on the West Coast. Yeah, so it's a 7:30 p.m. start there. Let me look in this Celtics game since it is the first one and at least look at some of the stuff. You guys got bets for pretty much everybody. I know we were talking about Jaylen Brown. We're talking about, we got Sam Hauser props. Interesting. I also like Papa Al in this game. I think rebounds might be a good look for him. 5.5 in this one. I think he's going to be playing a good amount of minutes is why I like him. He didn't play much against his team last year, but basically in this, what I'm looking at here for Al, let's start with the minutes. How many is he playing? 27, 30, 31, 32. So let's look at Al with the minutes here. Let me go to advanced filters. I'm taking the minutes. This is prop madness for those of y'all that aren't aware yet. This is one that you need to know how to use this tool to be able to make it as helpful as possible. But one of the key things here is all the filters, advanced filters. What you're trying to do is recreate the situation that you think is going to be occurring in this game. So for instance, I think Al is going to be playing at least 28 minutes in this game, probably 30. If I think that, then let me see in the games where he's played this many minutes, what he's done, right? So specifically looking at the rebounds, let's say he plays 28 to 32, which I think is a reasonable projection for him tonight. He's over in 3 of 5 this year. He's averaging 6.5 in this situation. Let's look at this one. They won by 3. It wasn't quite a blowout. 4 boards on 12 rebound chances, though. I like him to get 6 on 12 rebound chances. 8 here, and he got 5 against the Pistons, another really good rebounding team. This team's definitely good at rebounding. What are they? Yeah, second in rebounds allowed. So it's tough to just take that. Maybe you like all of it, honestly, for him, if you like the minutes. Yeah, so he's going all over in all of the games that he's played 28 to 32 this year on the PRA. I think that's probably the better look at 16.5. Yeah, and it's starting to go up on, at least on 365, it's gone up. Pinnacle has us at minus 102. So they actually don't think it's as likely, and that's a sharper book. But I think Papa Al on the PRA, if he's needed like that, let's look at last season real quick. It's not apples to apples, but let's do 28 to 32 from last season and see what happens to his stuff. 28 to 32 on the PRA, average 20 in those situations, right? And we could even take out KP and say without Kristaps. Where you at, you injured ass motherfucker? Kristaps. 7 out of 10, still about 21.5 without Chris. So I think this is a good look for Papa Al. In fact, I think that's about to be a bet for me. Let me put that on the bottom line for Papa Al Horford. Yeah, I can see just the assists, David, as well. Let's see what the assists look like. Yeah, they're there. I can understand the assists. The only thing about the assists is here's why I don't like the assists. And this is just like watching the games and matchup based stuff. I don't like the assists only because I think he's going to be standing in the corner to pull away his defender from the close to the paint, right? You don't want both Mobley and Allen out there. You're probably going to see one of them is going to have to guard Papa Al. So you keep him out there, you pull them from the basket, and now they're all the way out there. Is not as likely to get assists once he's going to be the catch and shoot guy in the corner. The corner is usually the spot where the shot gets taken, right? So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't like the assists as much. I'll leave him in here because it's just 1.5, and it's still very likely. We're looking at this season. Let me go back to the minutes filter. 28 to 32. So this season, yeah, just the dimes. Like it's not as big of a look for him, even without Jaylen Brown in one of those games too, and Drew Holiday. So in that one, you have 1.5, but just 1.5. It doesn't seem like there's much of a good offer here, right? I think it's a good piece to add to the bet because it's just 1.5, and that's a really beatable number for him. So let's add it to this whole prop because the likelihood of him getting at least 2 pretty high. That helps us out a lot. So I like that. And this is what I was worried about. LeBron's triple double is plus 370. Get out of my face with that. Come on. And I'm not even talking to you, Stan, obviously. No disrespect. I'm just saying, like, come on, man. Like, what are we going to take Kyle Schwarber to get a home run for minus 120? We're going to take Kyron Williams TD at minus 180, right? Like, I hate that. But they know that we all want to take it. And when it doesn't hit, they're going to make a ton of money off of us. So a PRA is a play for me for Al. What's the best number? 16.5, minus 105 on MGM. I think this is probably playable to a really, 22. This is playable to like minus 130. I'm putting Papa Al on the bottom line as soon as I drop that as well. Stand by, everybody. Stand the frick by. Just got to add one thing. I meant to do this earlier, and when I see these numbers with the minutes filters for him, I can't get away from it. So let's do Al Horford over 16.5 PRA minus 105. Bet MGM is the best number, and that is playable to minus 130. All right, but I think that number should be like 17, 18.5, to be honest. So if you only get this at 17.5, I still like it for Al Horford. All right, that's added. Well, now it's about to be added to the card over here. It's added to the VIP anyway. All right, so we got Papa Al over 16.5 PRA minus 105. All right, that's on the bottom line. And for all those of y'all that are new in here, the bets that we have from the show are scrolling on the bottom line. And it is going to be up on the pinned comment on the YouTube video as well. So keep that in mind. Let's stick around in this game. I've got Jared Allen as a look. And, Donovan Mitchell is what everybody wants to look at. And I know what everybody's looking at with Donnie Mitchell. So let's get to Donnie real quick and go from there. And this is bothering me. I know it shouldn't, but I got to change this. Brown, PA, Allen, SGA, Jamal. All right. Got that right here. All right. Let me look at Jared Allen and Donovan Mitchell. We'll start with Donovan Mitchell because I know that what we're like here. I believe you, Stan. I believe you. But yeah, even, plus 370, I don't think we can mess with it. All right. So let's stick into this game. I'll look at Donnie Mitchell, and we got to look at some stuff on a different site to be able to go back a little bit further. Let me just go to StatMuse for starters. Let's do Donovan Mitchell versus Celtics last 8 games. 8 regular. Let's do 6 regular season games. Let's see what that's at. 6 regular season games, because I don't want to mess with the playoffs from last season. That's when Donnie was getting stupid points. 35 a game. It's pretty good. Over in all but 1 in his last 6. Let's go back to 8 games. No, this is the start of the 22 season. So this is the 2 games he played, 22, 1102. This is all 2 seasons ago. This is last season. So he only played them twice last season. So this is good because this goes back 2 seasons with the Cavs against pretty much this version of the Celtics squad. I will say in 4 of these games, they did have Drew Holiday. No, last year was the first year with Drew Holiday. So they didn't have Drew Holiday. They did have Derek White. We'll probably be seeing Drew, and we got Derek White on Darius Garland in this situation. What's Garland doing meanwhile? Let me just pull him up real quick. Darius Garland versus Celtics last 6 regular season games. You can see he did not play in all the same ones as Donnie Mitchell either, but he actually is scoring a lot too. Let's do with Donovan Mitchell. StatMuse, obviously, I'm sure most of y'all are familiar with StatMuse at this point. So he hasn't played against the Celtics with Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland versus, so let me do Darius Garland with Donovan Mitchell versus Celtics last 6 regular season games. All right. So yeah, he was playing with Donnie for a lot of these. My Darius Garland under is based on their spot up defense and him getting locked up. But I mean, he's not like he has bad numbers against his team. So I can't reasonably feel good about it. He's averaging 24. This is all with Donovan Mitchell. All right, I'm off my Darius Garland under just because of that. Let me see. I got a question that I want to answer too from David H real quick. And David, I know I still owe you a response on your message to me. Have not forgotten. Just stay busy. Let's see for a projection on Pritchard. Yeah, Peyton P. Let's take a look. Depends. I mean, this is gonna be a close game. He's gonna be at 25 minutes pretty much for the season, right? That's gonna be where he's at. They've got his rotation pretty much locked into 25 minutes unless there's a starter missing from the game. This is interesting that they have D White at 18 points essentially. What's his line at? That seems like it's pretty high. They have him at 16.5, and they like his numbers here. Let's see if there's anything in the play type that makes them like it. Yeah, the spot up. So this is where this team is the most vulnerable, is the spot up. So that makes a ton of sense. Derek White is getting a ton off the spot up. I mean, most of these guys are, right? Because they pass the ball around the horn so much. I suppose Tatum would be the only guy that might be doing other stuff. ISO, yeah. So Tatum, yeah, this team's bad. Basically, they don't double the ball. Or what do? They do double the ball, but they still give up ISO. Interesting, because they're giving up a lot to the spot up too, even though this defense is still really good. What is it? 7th in defensive rating. But yeah, when you look at where they're playing and where they're shooting from, makes sense. I'm starting to like Derek White, especially based on that projection. They have him at 18, 17. It's a decent look. But I hate betting on anybody in for both of these teams, to be honest. But yeah, for Pritchard, makes sense. I think 11.5 for him is the prop, right? Let's do this with, is this with Chris Stapps? What am I doing here? 24, 25, without, but obviously. Let's do this with Jaylen Brown, because I know when JB was out, he was hitting a bunch. Let's see how close. This is a win by 20, win by just 6, win by 11. Yeah, so he's getting points in these games. It's really about if he hits the threes, though, right? When he went under, he went 0 for 5. When he went over, he's 5 for 8. 2 for 8, 5 for 9. So you might as well take the threes with Pritchard if you're going to take a bet for him. 3.5 is stupid. Get out of here. What's he averaging in these situations? 7. So he's got to make 4 of 7, 4 of 9, 4 of 8. It's 50%. Like, yeah, I can't get next to that. I understand he's a good spot up shooter, but I can't really mess with that. If we're talking about Jaylen Brown assists, let me just skip over to that because I know that was a look as well. Get that up here. Oh, and we've got, thank you for the update, Mike. Pritchard and Karis LeVert, both questionable as of an hour ago. Chris is Karis's brother. Obviously, he meant Karis LeVert. I don't think there is a Chris LeVert. Maybe his brother's name is that. I don't know, but I'm not going to spread fake news. What do we at? 3.5 on the dimes. I guess he's been diming up as of late, right? That's what we're looking at here. At the same time, so potential assists, 14. Just 5, 5, 6, 9, 8. So with potential assists, I usually want I want to have to rely on about, 50, 55% of your potential assists turning into assists is a reasonable number. And for Jaylen Brown, he's probably at about 7 potential assists per game. 4 is right on the line for me in terms of him being able to beat this number consistently. I know that's what his average is here. Let me pull him up on outlier.bet. One thing to consider here that outlier.bet does super well is show you the median number, which I've talked about with y'all. And I can see a bunch of y'all that have started to adopt that as a really important part of what you're doing. Thank you for that. A kid named Coop. We got LeVert out. LeVert out. Appreciate you, Eugene, with the look as well. Is it possible? It's always, of course, it's possible. Anything's possible. 2.5 threes for DG. Is it possible to hit? Let me look at that more in 1 second. Let's pull up JB for a minute. One of the super helpful things about outlier.bet, and by the way, if you do want to try this product, it is behind a paywall, about $20 a month. But if you want to try it out for 7 days for free, I have a link in the description of the video for that as well. So I'm telling you, the description of the video has the links for everything you need, from the tools to the discounts. I got the sportsbook promos in there. If you guys don't have an account with 5 different books that I have listed there, you can get some really good free money up to $1,000 on Underdog, etc. So let's pull up JB on here, because what I want to look at for him on this platform specifically is the potential assists on the season, so I can get the averages. And this is, like I said, it's right about 7 is his average. This is a total outlier, 14, obviously, right? That is very clear. In fact, let me get to 24. So in 24, 7.2, 14 potentials against the Raptors is a total outlier. And we're looking at him against Cleveland. I guess we'll call him a power forward these days because he's starting at the 4, right? So I guess they give up to power forwards. I don't really necessarily lean on that too much. It's not a position that is looking to get assists, so it could just be a random happenstance, to be honest. What would else? This is saying that if you bet this every time, expected value, if you get this at plus 108, if you bet this every time, you're going to make money over time, because over time, he's going to hit this enough that at plus 108, you're going to make money. That's what this EV is telling us, right? So I buy that. Let's see. The median is also 4. So that's helpful. The median number is takes away the outlier numbers so that you can basically get a more accurate representation of what his average is. But this median and average happen to be the same number. So that tells you it's not too much of an outlier number here. So I do like it. I think it's a really interesting look. If I'm thinking about the matchups, he's got Evan Mobley on him, might cause him to have to pass a bit more than being able to finish around the rim. If Evan Mobley's draped all over him, it's a slightly bigger guy. He'll be able to bully him. I do think he's at least as strong as Evan Mobley, but he might not be able to finish as easily. So I'm just going to put it in the bottom line for right now because I think that's a really interesting look. And it's like I'm saying, like I have a reason to bet this. I'm not just feeling like, where are we at here? I'm not just feeling like, oh yeah, this sounds right, let's do it. No, there's reasoning here behind it, including matchup-based reason with Evan Mobley to add to that. So I'm going to put JB here on the bottom line for the assists, over 3.5 assists, plus 108 though. Like I wouldn't be playing this for minus 105 or whatever. And this might actually be outdated for that number now that I'm thinking about it, because Props Madness is the fastest at pulling through. Oh no, there we go. My bad. I guess outlier.bet was faster. Right as I'm like, outlier is way slower than Props Madness at pulling through bets. Props Madness comes up with it a little bit after them. Let's see what they have for JB. They have him at 3.8, which is basically what he's getting on the season. Overall, this team 11th in limiting assists. So position kind of be damned for assists unless it's like point guard and pretty obvious. It's not. It's a team that's really good at limiting them. What's he done against them, real quick, assist wise? So these are all playoff games. This was the regular season last year. He went over in all 3 of the regular season. So that's good. Let's see if we can get who might have been missing. So 23-24. This is one of the best parts about Props Madness is it's really easy to see who was playing in games and who wasn't. So 23-24 head to head regular season, because I don't want to look at the playoffs. So right here, I can see Cada, Tillman, Peterson, Banton, Cada, Cornette, and Banton. So everybody that you would care about was still playing last year when JB was going up against the Cavs and still getting it. Now, he's still only getting 7 dimes or 7 potential dimes, 7 potentials and then 10. So he's at about 14, 24, 8 per game, 8 potential assists to get 4. Not the worst number in the world against this team. I mean, this is a pretty high percentage right here, 4 and 5 on 7, but here you got 4 for 10. So it averages out. And I have it on the bottom line. I do think that's a good look. Did I put it down there? Yeah, I put it on there. All right, let's keep it moving because we can get to some more stuff. And I like that as a look. So appreciate that look. Good look, Stan. Appreciate you, brother. Claim it if it's yours. Let's keep it rolling with Jared Allen's probably the last thing I'm gonna look at here, and I did tell you I'd at least take a look at the threes. The problem with the threes for a guy like Garland is he's gonna be having to take him off the pull-up. Where did I? Oh, and I had Mobley in here because y'all wanted to look at him too. JB assist was what I was looking at, and so I think that's a good look from you, Stan, on that one. Pulling up, sticking to this game for a minute. Jay Allen, 10.5 rebounds. Is a good beatable number for this man. He's averaging 10.9 in the season. That's fair. What did he do against this team last year? Okay, so it's not like he went crazy on him. That's for sure. Let's see. Was missing Mobley in one too, and still only got 10 and 5 boards. So that's not great. 19 rebound chances to get 5 boards, but these were probably with Kristaps, I would imagine, as well. No Kristaps is going to be a lot easier to get boards. I'll say that. 35 minutes, 39 minutes, 37 minutes without Mobley. Oh, Mobley missed both these games. In fact, he had more rebounds than the one that Mobley was in is when he got the 12. So that's interesting. This is not going to be a good team to have to get rebounds against. I still have FanDuel Fantasy Pros open, so I can just go to centers, rebounds. Yeah, they're third at best at limiting it, even without Kristaps this season. So maybe there's not quite as much of a look there. Mobley on the points, Maybe some RA, I believe, was a request for him as well. Is he hitting that lately? No, it's at 11.5. I don't really love to add the assist for Mobley. I don't really love this game, to be honest, at this point. I had some looks that I'm now, I like the Horford look. I'm into the JB one. I think Derek White points might be a look, but that's predominantly based on the ETR projections. Let's see what he did against this team last year. Head to head. Where you at? Head to head right here. Yeah. Nothing that really like jumps out to me for him other than the spot up stuff. I know they like him for 19, but it's about if he's going to hit the threes. Is this 3.5? Yeah, 3.5 for him. So it's almost like, is it worth it to just take the 3.5 threes? Here's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at, and this shouldn't even be with Jaylen Brown. What I'm going to look at is the points for him, but I want to look at 3-pointers made, and I want to see, is it worth it to just take the threes or the points? But if we're looking at him at 16.5 points, let's say he makes 4 threes exactly. He's clearly going over this on the points. So if he makes 4 threes, he's getting the points. My point in saying that is, like, if you get better money for the threes, you might as well take it, because it does seem like he needs to hit the threes to get the points. Let's make this 0 to 3 threes. So if he goes under the 3.5 threes, see, that's a way worse rate. So if he doesn't hit the 4 threes, he's usually not going over on the points. To get the points, you need -114. If you hit the threes, you get +104. So this is one of those things where it's like, I guess I'd rather just hit the over 3.5 threes for plus money for D White rather than just take the points, because I've just found out that if he doesn't get 4 threes, he's likely not going to get 17 points. He's averaging 14.7. He's under in 3 of 7. So it's almost just like, just take the threes at that point for D White. But I'm going to pass on all that. So I'm going to pass on a bunch of that stuff from that game. We got some other games we can look at. That one's starting in about 45 or so minutes, although we know they're going to be late. So let's say 55 minutes. And let me get Mobley out of here as well. All right. Nothing else from this game. Let us move along to 2. Might as well go in order for a minute. And we did exhaust a couple things in this game. I did write on the bottom line, for those of y'all just stepping in, that I like Miles Bridges more than I do Brandon Miller. Partly because Brandon Miller's coming off screens. He's been the pick and roll ball handler a good amount. Miles Bridges is scoring off the spot up. And he's obviously in transition a ton as well. We know he likes to run out in the fast break. So the way he's scoring, transition, spot up, and getting to the free throw line are the ways that the Brooklyn Nets give up points. The other wild thing was the disparity between how the Brooklyn Nets guard shooting guards, which is what we, I guess, technically need to call Brandon Miller. They have the second best defense limiting points to the shooting guard position. To the small forward position, they literally have the worst. So they're the worst against one position. They're the best against the other position. And yet most people are liking Brandon Miller a lot, which I can understand too, because the usage for Brandon Miller has been dumb high. So that's the other thing that's kind of keeping me hesitant here. For Brandon Miller, in the last 3 games since he's had Miles Bridges back, and it's actually just been 2 games. So even in the 2 games with Miles Bridges back, 20 shots and 17 shots. Miles took 15 shots and 15 shots. So if Miles is taking 15 shots, though, don't we like him to get 17 points in that situation? Do we have an update on Trey Mann by chance? Let me pull up my Twitter real quick. Come on, man. Oh, Karis LeVert. Yeah, so Sam Merrill playing. Okoro ruled out. Wow. DFS is going to be in. Dorian Finney-Smith. And Pritchard's in. I think everybody was talking about that. Okay. So, yeah, we don't have anything on Trey Mann, which would be helpful to know, because without Trey Mann, I would like both those guys a lot more, to be honest. But he comes in and gets a bunch of shots off of them. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with that. I would be going with Miles Bridges. I haven't put that in yet, but I might. Josh Green on the threes. I don't really want to mess with, to be honest. I guess he's shooting from the corners. Is this team bad against the corners? One of the corners, I suppose, but overall against corner threes, they're not the worst. So I really don't want to have to mess with this man to make threes. That's probably the only way he's scoring anyway, right? 2 for 2 for 15. Okay, no, he's scoring in other ways as well. But yeah, I mean, not something I really want to bank on, especially because I would imagine, so missing some players when, yeah, now I'm good on Josh Green, to be honest. Like that's going to be a random circumstance. And I would be betting Josh Green against teams that are notably bad against the corner shot, right? If you look at this is where it's really important to go, okay, he's taking 41% of his shots. So like almost half of his shots come from the corner, right? Corner three specifically. You want this defense to be bad. Like the Thunder force the ball into the corners. The Heat force the ball into the corners. The Kings force the ball into the corners. I happen to know these things, but I'm just saying, like, if you like just pulling up the Thunder for instance, if we look at opponent defense, a little bit better this season, but still like overall, if you look at both corners, which I believe I have this up, so I couldn't even look at it. If we go overall opponent shooting and look at it by zone, let's look at corner threes. Field goals attempted in the corner. The Thunder are giving up the 5th most attempts from the corner. And they've gotten a little bit better against the makes, I guess. Where did they go? Down here. So, yeah, a few less makes, better percentage, but that's oftentimes luck as well as if the team makes or misses it. But they're funneling the ball into the corners. That's when I would take a guy like Josh Green, but it's not really there for me. So I'm going to keep it moving. Let's see what else we got that we want. I do want to look at, let's pull up the Denver game and go to that one real quick. Did I even write Josh Green down here? No, I didn't. Good, because I don't want to look at him anymore. Let me look at this Denver game and see a couple things. Yeah, I could use some Najee props. I mean, he was getting more burn when PJ Washington was out, right? So I'm not sure what his minutes are going to be at tonight. But interesting from Goat Films. Wait, where'd you go? My bad. Kyrie 30s. I could see it. The only thing about Kyrie is he's also a pull-up shooter, so not sure how much we like that or not. Let's see. The LeBron turnovers I'm always interested in. But let me just pull it up real quick, and then I'm going to get to this this Denver game. LeBron on the TOs, 3.5. Yeah, I mean, he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. He's averaging 3.5 on the season. Against the Jazz, nah, not against the Jazz. Jazz are poo-poo. Unless I'm crazy and the Jazz are forcing a bunch of turnovers. That's not my guess. Let me go to general opponent. Opponent TOV. Where you at, Jazz? Gonna go guess towards the bottom. Yeah, 23rd. Nah, yeah, that's not a look, unfortunately. Not that it's not ever a look, but yeah, it could be. All right, let me get to this. Let me get to this other game. Sorry, I had one other question too. Just came in. Yeah, Props Madness is not free anymore. It was, but now it's behind a paywall for like $20 a month. I believe Daft has a code that you can use in partnership with them if you want. So that's one thing to consider, but it is $20 or so. I mean, it's super helpful for a lot of reasons. I like it and continue to use it, but I understand you can't just be spending $20 a month on like 5-6 different products all the time. I can because it's my job. So it's worth it for me to do this because it helps me make money off of it. But you got to consider that for yourself. I was going to the Props Madness. Oh yeah, no, the other one too. Someone was asked. I'm not like posting bets for free necessarily, like on like a Telegram or on the Discord. I do have a WAP.com account, and the VIP Discord gets you every single play I'm making with the bets that the write-ups for them. But if you want free bets, I'm putting out videos every day with like really strong leans that often turn into plays. Plus, we run this every day. Get the bets here, throw them on the bottom line on YouTube. So, they're there for you if you want to do a little bit of work to find them. But if you don't, then they're all in one spot. And every single one is in one spot. So let me look at, and to those people who are like upset that there's picks behind a paywall and think everything should just be for free, I don't have time for that conversation, but I don't agree with you. All right, let's look at Nuggets Memphis. Man, I wanted to play Jaren Jackson Jr., but we talk about this in the VIP Discord all the time. Mike, our boy, is always talking about taking centers points against Jokic, attacking him, stuff like that. He's out. So, I mean, yeah, you can attack, I guess, Dario Saric, but it's not quite the same. Like, let's make this the focus. I really like CB still. I still think his assists are a good play. I still think he's sort of a secondary playmaker more than anybody else because, I mean, Saric on the assist too, maybe. But when you've got a lineup of Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Christian Brown, Dario Saric, and I believe Peyton Watson has been starting. Let me double check if I'm right. Going down to Denver. Yeah, Peyton Watson alongside it. Who is a playmaker on this? I mean, Dario, I guess, as from the center position, but Christian Brown is the second best playmaker on this team, and you've got his assists at 1.5. Bro, I know that was such a good look. Sorry, I got distracted, but I'm so mad that I forgot to tell everybody in the Discord to sprinkle on the Texans touchdown, because when that happened, I was like bittersweet. I hit it at 7-1, and I didn't give it out in the Discord because I got busy with other shit, and I apologize to those of you who are in the Discord, but that was one of the most fun plays to watch, was that tutty for the Texans yesterday. All right, finishing my point here, because my ADD is obviously going bananas. 1.5 assists for a starter, second best playmaker on the starting lineup, had only 3 potential assists last game. The other one without Joker, though, 7 potentials. So it's really like a 2 assists, and this is what we did last time, was 10 plus points, 2 plus assists for him. Maybe you just take the points and assists at 15.5, something he's done a lot this year as well, with and without Joker. I think 15.5 is still a good number. Let me see what they have these projections at, since they should have known that Joker was out by the time they put these projections out. So let me double check. Yeah, they only have 2.5 assists, 35 minutes though. Maybe it's the PRA as well. 15.5, averaging 18 on the season. For the PRA, 21.5, averaging 23 on the season. Yeah, the rebounds 5.5 is, I guess that's the number that's a little bit high to me. The points at 13.5, it's right up against it for him, but I still think we get a decent edge there. And he's shooting off he's scoring off transition and spot up. So like, yeah, I still think he's a good matchup for this team. Only the 13 points in the last game against them, but he did have the 4 dimes. Could expect, he only took 11 shots, which is really annoying. I guess Julian Strother was doing work last game. He had 19, played 25 minutes, just trying to figure out how to break this lineup down without Jokic. And the other look was Jamal Murray on the rebounds and assists, I know. What's his assists at? 6.5. Not been scoring, though, right? 17 potentials last game against Memphis, too. 19 in the game before without Jokic. Golly. Only 8, though, and then 7. What did this team shoot last game? I'm going to go into that box score. This is the deep dives I was talking about, because I really want to look at this game a little bit closely, and we just had this game play out, and so I would like to use that to my advantage. And this is, we went through Charlotte, and so this is the third game anyway, because it's 5 p.m., 8 p.m. on the East Coast, so I'm fine to take the time to go through this bit. They played Sunday, right? Memphis, Denver, low scoring ass, poo-poo ass game. Ugh. The advanced metrics here so we can see the pace. The pace was 97. So, yeah, it was mad slow. Let's see here. I want to look at something real quick. Personal fouls. Nobody was in foul trouble on either team. So I think we can trust the rotations that we would have seen from the last game. MPJ playing 27 minutes is wild. Did he get hurt? And I don't think so. That's wild. Guess they played Russ instead for like defense, but I mean, this is supposed to be this man is making so much money. You don't have Joker or Gordon, and he plays 27 minutes. That's some doghouse stuff from the coach right there. That's what that is. Let's see what else we're gonna look at. Do we have the tracking? Okay, player tracking. I want to look at rebound chances and potential assists. Oh, I can't look at potential assists in here, but rebound chances. Yeah, Dario at 21. Golly. Brown only had 8. Jamal got in there, so I like his rebound chances. Obviously, he's touching the ball the most. We should probably be focused on him. They just lost. He's got to be pissed, right? I'm not saying he can necessarily score. Let me see real quick. Jamal Murray with and without Nikola Jokic. I'm just doing for his career to start. This is just my brain moving at this point. Without, he's at 16. Let's do last 3 seasons. Only 9 games without him. 20 a game. It's the assists that go up, right? Yeah, the boards and the assists go up for him without Nikola in the last 3 years. That's for damn sure. So 13.4 is what he's averaging in these situations. And the 11.5 is beatable for sure. He's done it both times this season. Let's see real quick. Jamal Murray game log without Nikola Jokic last 3 seasons. So I can see how many times he's actually gone over. 13, over, under, under, over. So that's 3 unders. So 6 out of 9. Nice. 6 out of 9 overs on the 11.5 R and A. Let me look at some stuff. Let's just go to FanDuel Fantasy Pros. Let's see. We're calling him the point guard, that's for sure. Let's look at rebounds this season against them. Memphis giving up not very many rebounds to the point guard. They are in the top 10, and they're probably in the top 10 limiting assists. Yeah, they're top 10-ish limiting assists and rebounds to the PG. So it's a mixed bag here, right? Let's look at the RA real quick. So he had 15 rebound chances, 17 potential assists, 10 rebound chances, 19 potential assists. Put them together, you get 12.5 rebound chances to get 5 boards. That's doable. The Dimes, this team's a pretty good rebounding team, though. Yeah, they don't allow much assists, and the rebounds against 15th. Not the best rebounding team. They're not going to have Zach Edey this game, so that actually makes me even less afraid of that. Should we just be doing PRA, though, for him? Is he not going to – I mean, the points don't really go up. We've decided that. I think RA is the play for Jamal Murray here, and I see what you're saying. In fact, I kind of just want to go to the Dimes. We're talking about 17 and 19 potential assists to get 7, and I can get that minus 115. Pinnacle has this at minus 129. I think it's the assist for this man, to be honest. I know this team doesn't give up as many assists. They're like top 10 assists allowed to the PG as well, but that's where I'd be going. I'm going to put that as a lean for right now for Jamal Murray. I'm putting that in the bottom line right here. All right. Murray over 6.5 assists, minus 115 is a good look. And on the season, he's probably at a low number, but I mean, it's only 9 games, but averaging 7.4, going over pretty good. Let's just look at what was just the assists and not needing the rebounds. So 6.5, 1, 2, 2 for 3, 3 for 4, 4 for 5, 5 for 6, 6 for 7, 6 for 9 as well. Okay. Interesting. 6 for 9 as well. The unders were against some pretty good defenses. I mean, the Clippers and the Knicks, the Pellies up here. That was this year. 43 minutes too. Yeah. I mean, I'll put it as a lean on the bottom line for right now, but not, yeah, that's where it is. I already did that. I always do this. I just like put it up there and then Christian Brown, I'm scared of him burning me, dude. And the potentials aren't really there. Let's see. What's Dario's rebounds at? 7.5. He just had 21 rebound chances, 19 in the other game. You're still giving him 7.5 plus 105. Wowie wee-wah indeed. What did he play? 32, 34 minutes. Like, they don't have another center. I would like him on the Dimes, but I don't think I need to even mess with that. I think the rebounds are the look. Unless they're going to play MPJ and all of a sudden he's going to get rebounds. I'm going to look at one more thing. But I think Sario Daric. I think Dario on the boards is a look. So I'm going to add that actually. Trey Man ruled in. Thank you, Us versus the Books. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. This is helpful stuff. All right. Damn. Would have loved him to be out. And then we could have gotten that. But I'm writing it on the bottom line. So you'll see it come up here in just a minute. I got some other reminders about the football videos that come out this weekend. I'm on every Sunday morning with Modai, 11 a.m. Eastern on his channel to go over last-minute NFL bets. And here are the leans that I have for right now. Miles Bridges over Brandon Miller. That's all I wrote for now, is if you're going to take somebody on the points, that is a Miles Bridges greater than sign. This is a SGP for some nice plus money because we have the negative correlation for Brandon Ingram, 20 plus points, under 7.5 boards. Ziaire Williams over 9.5 points, if you can still get that. I'm looking at. Love Al Horford, already bet that. PRA for him. Jaylen Brown on the assists. I think that was a good look by Stan, considering that. And then Jamal Murray on the assists as well, is something that I just looked at. So that's what I'm looking at here. I think Christian Brown, Dario Saric on the boards is a look. Even at 7.5, I mean, he's played 2 games without Joker, and he's got 20 rebound chances per game. To get 8, like, just played against this team, jump shooting team, who is he matched up with real quick? With rebounds, always want to look at who the matchup is for that person on defense, which you can do inside the box score. So I'm inside the box score from this last game that these teams just played a few days ago. I'm going to go to defensive player and put Saric in there. And now I can see the minutes that he was the primary defender on this person. Brandon Clark and Jay Huff, more than Jaren Jackson Jr., because those guys are out there with Triple J. They're the center. He's more the power forward. So who was guarding Triple J? Let's put him on offense now. So I'm going to the offense and saying Jaren Jackson Jr. The person guarding him for the most amount of time was Peyton Watson, was who they had on Triple J. Interesting. Okay. Well, either way, I like Dario rebounds. And if he's guarding dudes like Brandon Clark and Jay Huff, then he ain't going too far from the basket himself. So I like that. Yeah, I'm going to put that up here as well. This is going on the bottom line. Also going to have all these bets pinned in the comment on the YouTube video after this is done. Quick reminder, give that video a like if you would. If you're getting anything out of the stream, much appreciated. It goes a long way for me. It takes 2 seconds for y'all. Dario over 7.5 revs for plus 105. I mean, they're begging us to take it. 8 rebounds, though, on that. I mean, why would he not continue to get that many rebound chances if he's out there to be the center and guard those dudes that we just saw him guard? So I think 8 boards is a good number to be able to beat. All right. And then Brown PA, I'm just leaving up there for now. I haven't hit it and I'm scared. And I'm scared because he barely went over last time. I'm scared because he didn't really have the potential assist last time, even though he did get the dimes, which scares me. So I guess that's where I'm at. I would take the points and assists, though. That would be the play. So I'm just going to put that down below as well, just because that's the strong lean. And I haven't given it out yet officially. But that would be how I would be playing Christian Brown. Brown over 15.5 PA gets you about minus 115 as of right now. All right. That's on the bottom line as well. Let's get to a few more things. I'm going to look at the Lakers game now, and then we're going to dip out here in just a minute. Any underplays? I didn't have any off bat today. I always prefer unders, honestly, because unders never die until they're dead. But the fact of the matter is, this is the NBA Cup. So teams might not be as willing to just take all their starters out and admit defeat. If they can keep the game close, point differential matters in the NBA Cup. So moving forward for the next month or whatever, Tuesday, Fridays is always NBA Cup games. So you need to make sure that you know that, because I don't think there's going to be quite as many unders in NBA Cup games. If teams are fighting each other to get points towards the end, they want to elongate the game and see if they can't get it closer, because point differential will decide if you the tiebreaker, if you make it or not. And there's going to be tiebreakers because they're all playing 4 games exactly. Let's go to the Lakers game. I know there's a lot of looks for that. This game, I don't know what to do with quite as much. I think it's insane that the Spurs players all have a max points prop of 12.5 points. Somebody's going over. I know the call was for Zach Collins threes, but there's no reason to think Zach Collins is going to be open on the 3-point line. In fact, I kind of like an under because of the fact that he's going to have Jaylen Williams draped all over him. So he took 5 last game without Wemby. This game, was this without Wemby? Nope, that was with him. I'm trying to see the other game without Wemby. Where was that at? Because there was 2 games without Wemby this season. No, I guess this is Wemby's second missed game after last one. So without Wemby, he went 1 for 2 from 3 in 16 minutes against this game against the Mavs. Against the Mavs, he went 0 for 5 from 3, but he played 26 minutes. The 5 threes does scare you. So he's taking a lot more when he's in there. If this, I still kind of like the under, because if Jaylen Williams is draped all over him, I don't know why you would think Zach Collins is going to be a good look from 3. Damn, I kind of just want to sprinkle on the under there. +1, you can get plus 165 for the under on Bet365. Why would you think Zach Collins is going to get a 3 against this team? Because he's spotting up for it, I guess. But he's going to have a smaller, rangy defender on him like J-Dub. So that's a lean. I'm going to at least write it down so I don't forget it. I'm putting Zach Collins under. I also just fucking hate Zach Collins. So take that into consideration. Emotions might be playing a part in this, that I don't like Zach Collins. I don't like his fucking face. I don't like his game. I just don't like Zach Collins. Zach Collins. Sorry if Zach Collins' mom is in here too. I'm sure you're a wonderful woman. Under. What if Zach Collins' mom was in here? Under 0.5 threes made. Plus 165. That's a spicy, sexy meatball. All right. Might just sprinkle a half a unit on him to not make a 3. Bitch made ass. All right. Champagny, no reason to like the assist. I kind of like Chris Paul at 9.5 a little bit more. I haven't decided if Chris Paul scores because Wemby is out there or not. He took 9 shots last game without Wemby. It's actually a few more than he was taking. So I kind of like that for him. I mean, this is a much better, not much better, but it's a better perimeter defense than even the Mavs, because this is the Thunder, one of the best perimeter defenses, if not the best perimeter defense in the league. We got Alex Caruso back. That could be a problem for CP3. Don't love it, but the 9.5 points for CP3 would be where I'd be going first. And then other than that, I didn't really have much for this one. So let me get down to SGA on the points was a look. Sorry, I'm stretching my calf. SGA on the points was a look. 32.5. Now we're getting a little cuckoo bananas over here. This has blowout potential written on it as well without Wemby. I think the Thunder without Chet are just a way better team than the Spurs without Wemby. I don't think that's really unreasonable to say at all. So let me get to this Lakers game. Y'all want to bet on AD, and we want to bet on LeBron. It's LeBron in the cup. Let's see what his numbers are real quick. LeBron cares about this cup because I'm sure there's a deal in here. LeBron cares about the cup, gets something in return. I don't know what LeBron needs, so I don't know what Adam Silver could even give him that he would want. But there's something going on for why LeBron cares about this shit so much. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's because he's a soccer fan. Jalen Green, questionable. No, this is all Wednesday shit. All right, nothing for Tuesday other than the Trey Man news. Cool. Garland. Oh, so Sam Merrill's starting, though, for this Cavs squad, and Isaac Okoro is out. That's a 20-minute start. Do we like anything as a result of that? We're going to have Sam Merrill in the starting lineup? What did he play last game? Well, this isn't the same. He's in the starting lineup now. Interesting. 8.5 points, 2.5 threes. If you're going to take Sam Merrill, just take the threes. That's for damn sure. Most of his shots are, all of his shots here were threes, all of them here, all of them here, all of them here. This is like not 50% of his threes. This is 100% of his shots are from 3. And against the Celtics as a spot-up guy, not the best, right? They're the 3rd best spot-up defense. Not what you want. He's going to be a shorter dude against bigger defenders. Not what I'm looking for. This game's in Boston, right? Or is it in Cleveland? My bad. It's in Cleveland. No, it's in Boston. All right. In Boston. I don't want that for Sam Merrill. All right. It's interesting that he's starting. This is how you have to look at stuff for sure. It almost just makes me like the Derek White over on the points a little bit more, or over on the threes, because he's just going to be firing. Even if Sam Merrill is the one switching on to him, he's just going to shoot right over him and not give it a crap. You're getting a pretty good number at plus 104 for the Derek White threes too. Just so freaking many. There's a nice parlay in here somewhere with like Derek White 3+ threes, maybe Jaylen Brown 3+ assists. Now we're kind of talking. Because that's the next game, let me just do that real quick. I know I'm stalling the Lakers fans who want to talk about their precious AD and LeBron. No shade, but let me see here. All right, I'm pulling up. See if we can't get. I don't want to do it that way. My bad. Let's see if we can't get a. I'm just using FanDuel to start, but man, this has gotten up to 7 points in favor of the Celtics. Let's see. Player assists. Let's look at that. You can't do 3 over here. Yeah. Can you do 3 on DraftKings? Sometimes you can. But that number for his assist was best at FanDuel, right? For Jaylen Brown. Let's do same game parlay on DK. Let's do assists. Can we get? No, I'm probably not gonna be able to get it for him. Let's see. Jaylen Brown assists. I can get 3+. What about Derek White threes? It only gets you minus 130. I don't love it. I'd rather just get the juice. I mean, maybe, yeah, I'd rather just do one or the other, to be honest. I don't think that's the way to play that. So, all right, I will look at this this Lakers game real quick because I'm not trying to force stuff. And then I'm going to head out as soon as that the other game starts, I believe. So AD is the starting point going up against John Collins. He's averaging 31 on the season, yet we're still getting him at 28.5. Like maybe they don't believe in him. Or maybe they are afraid of the blowout and they're actually baking that into the number. as well. And that's why they have this at 28, because they don't know that he's going to play enough minutes to get there. It's really interesting. They'll normally make this a lot closer to just what his season average is, and they're giving us the like 2-ish points of an edge there at 31 versus 29, which he needs. So interesting. Oh, I need to do this for 2 seconds. Oh. Why would he score more points? Well, he's banging down low. This team's 16th down low. They're not going to have Walker Kessler. Man, it's so many points, man. Y'all want me to take so many points. I know that this is a big game. But like, so for instance, I took AD a little while ago because LeBron James was coming off a ton of usage. And so it was a great spot for AD to just get all the usage. Well, that's not necessarily the case here, right? I mean, he played 37, but that was 3 nights ago on the 16th. So LBJ is super rested. In fact, I think that's where we should be looking. Let's look at this way. LeBron James. That's what I meant to do. LeBron James, NBA Cup stats. Let's start there. NBA Cup game log. All right. So we're looking at, can I do stats in game log? Can you just please? No. Okay. Whatever. I'll just do stats in a second. So we're looking at a bunch of overs on the points other than 1, 2, 3, including this year against the Spurs. But the PRA and the RA are kind of there, but they're probably at 15 and a half at least for LBJ. 17. Crazy, dog. What did he do against his team last year? His shit is high. He didn't play against them last year? Okay. All right. So he didn't play against them last year. Did he really not? LeBron James versus Jazz last 2 seasons. Wow, he just played against them once 2 years ago. Or no, the beginning of last season. 11-21-23 was the beginning of last season. And he had 24 minutes, 17 points, 7 boards, 9 dimes. They got him at 17 RA, man. That is insanity. All his stuff is too high. This is why I never bet on LeBron, because all his stuff just gets priced out to infinity. Here's one thing I did want to look at, and then I'm just like, fuck you. LeBron James stats on at least 2 days of rest last 2 seasons. Let's see if they give that to me. Because there is something to the idea that when LeBron has a lot of rest, like he does coming into this one, that he's usually good. Okay, this is working. Okay, thank you, StatMuse. So days rest. This is the first game of the season, so he had 154 days of rest, and he had 21, 8, and 5. So this is, let me show more real quick. So this is the last 2 seasons where he has at least 2 days of rest. He's at 25.6, 7.7, 8.6. I think this is a really telling sign of how to look at LeBron, is like, how rested is he? Has he been sleeping in the bat chamber or whatever the hell he spends his $1 million a year on? Yeah, so he's probably chilling. There's just not that much like correlation between specific stats for him. So this PRA is 25.6 plus 7.7 is 33.3, 41.9. So 42 is what his PRA is at when you add them all together. Tonight it's the fuck out of here. 42.5. The other thing is like, how close is this game going to be? What if why wouldn't he just blow him out? Yeah, I'm scared of straight overs, to be honest with you. Rui's in, which means we're not going to get Dalton Connect lines. Rui might not be a bad play, to be honest. Where are the Jazz the weakest? They're a terrible perimeter defense, right? So threes, maybe some D-Lo stuff. Also was looking at Jordan Clarkson. Let me just start running through shit. My bad. I still have this comment. Let me hide current comment. All right. Let's see. Cody was talking about Collins when he plays. When Collins plays OKC, he gets 1 3-pointer past 4 games. He did it. Yeah, possible. I kind of want to fade it. Is AD guaranteed to play? Yeah, I didn't see him with a questionable tag. Did he have one? I don't think so. I think AD is good to go, right? I didn't check the latest Luka's playing. We kind of already knew that. Let me. This is the official NBA injury report. The latest one would be 6:30. So let me refresh. All right. So the latest injury report for this Lakers game. Yeah, he's probable. So it looks like he's good. Looks like Rui's still questionable, but I think they expect him to go. Jackson Hayes is out. Yeah. So against the Jazz, I mean, AD should be able to do work for sure, but these are too high. I got to look elsewhere, to be honest, if I'm feeling an over on a Lakers player, because right now 42.5 is silly high. Silly high. So let's see. Reddish under rebounds from Mike D. I'm Mike D, and I get respect. Your cash and your jewelry is what I expect. Nah. But yeah, let's see. Rebs for Gafford Rebs is what Mike was talking about. This could be a good look. To get a 6+. Yeah. Also, might as well take the fucking plus +3. What do we say? Plus 370 for him to get the TD. If you're going to take him at these numbers, because yeah, I mean, 42.5. He didn't get that in the last game when he had a triple double, right? It was like 16, 12, and like 11. With like 39. So 42.5 is like, fuck out of here, man. Yeah, no doubt, bro. No doubt. Make sure you check out the description of the video, because that has the link to the injury report. That's the official NBA one. It's not the fastest one, but it's the most reliable. Like it's guaranteed. I could see it. Yeah, I hate that I have to depend on Al to make threes. And he shoots a lot of them, and he's going to shoot some bad ones, and they're not going to go in, but he's going to keep shooting them. So if the volume is at 6 for Al, I like the 2+ that you're talking about there. You got to see how many threes you think he's going to take. 6, if you can make that number, then I think that's a good one. 8.5 first quarter points is a lot. It's just a lot, Larry. I'm kind of a first quarter wuss for sure. I think a lot of y'all know that, but 8.5. I know he's averaging 10. He's playing the whole first quarter, actually. That's what I like. Damn. Interesting. Does he play the whole first quarter in this game? So he's either playing 10 or 12. My Lord, he took 11 shots in the first quarter of this one versus the Suns. Wow. Now you're tempting me. Only 4 against the Grizz. That's very interesting. I like the points, or I like the amount of shots that he's taking. I like the amount of time that he's playing in the first quarter. I'm just a sissy about this stuff, so I'm going to back out. But like, I get wanting to play that for sure. I can't play LeBron, and it doesn't look like there's much for me with AD. D'Lo might not be a bad look, honestly. 21 minutes since he left the starting lineup. His minutes have fluctuated. Why did he play 30 right here? Played 30 against the Spurs. I don't know why he did. Rui was out, but he played 30 against the Spurs despite his minutes kind of going down a bit lately. I think he's probably a good look, though. You can get 1.5 threes for D'Lo. I think D'Lo 2 threes is a play here. The opponent defense is terrible all up in here. D'Lo shooting 46% of his shots from up top, right? I think the threes is the look, to be honest, but maybe you just take the point. I think D'Lo points isn't that bad, though. 11.5. He's averaging 12 on the season. What they got D'Lo at? Which I got D'Lo at 23 minutes. Fuck off. All right, 23 minutes isn't enough for me. They like Rui in his first game back, 13.5 over at ETR. Interesting. Yeah, sorry, y'all. I wish I could just be like, yeah, take LeBron for this. What's his double-double? Probably like nothing monies. Let me pull that up real quick. This is the other great part about Outlier. Being able to see like the double-double, all of the, like most of the bets available are going to be pulling through to here. So that's great. The DD2. Why? What are his rebounds prop at? His assists are... Oh, because his assists are at 9.5. And I guess he's been doing it as of late, except for against the Pellies. And his potentials are... Oh, because D'Lo went to the bench. And D'Lo goes to the bench, and now his assists go up because D'Lo was eating into his assists. These are a ton of potential assists, so that's why. Okay. So against the Pellies, he didn't do it that much. They won by 5 in that game. Pellies are good limiting assists, though. Yeah, unfortunately, I got nothing for LaBreezy. We got a lot of stuff in here. I got to get this stuff up in the VIP and make the final plays. I'm going to be putting all the bets that we looked at here that I like with the leans. Those are going to be in a pinned comment on the YouTube video. Go ahead and give that video a like. Much appreciated, because I need them, and it takes 2 seconds for you guys to do it. Also want to remind everybody, going to be back Wednesday and every day, 5:30 p.m. Eastern is when we go ahead and have the live show going. So make sure you jump in there. We'll have the NFL videos for Thursday night as well. If you want those Thursday night football looks, been cooking in the NFL the last 3 weeks, loving it. So jump in there. If you don't want to miss a bet that I'm making, once again, in the description of the video is the link for the WAP.com account. It takes you to the VIP Discord. That's where all the plays with the full write-ups are put in there. So if you don't want to miss any of the plays, this is where you go. If you don't want to miss anything, go into the description of this video. I'm telling you, that's where you're going to find everything you need. Pinned comment will have the bets. So appreciate y'all. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. And until I do, happy betting.